All right, folks. Well, welcome to the State of the Union. This is updates, new releases, and a lot more. As you guys know, we do this about quarterly. We've gone through some significant changes. Q1 was a wild one. It continues to be. We've ended up in a massive geopolitical conflict. It's affected the markets. There's a lot of other things going on, and we've had to make adjustments accordingly, and we have. And that's one of the things we're going to talk about today is why we're really pushing on certain programs, new things that have come out, and changes that we've made to the entire system. So, without further ado, I'm going to get started. This is a disclaimer. As you guys know, this is education purposes only. We are not giving financial advice. We're not financial advisors. Anything that we show you that has results, past performance is not indicative of future results. By the way, you can see that on the bottom of everything, everywhere, and it's going to get even more intense with some of the new SEC releases. But for the full disclaimer, check out the bottom of targettrading.co, bubbatrading.com, Vici Trading Solutions, any of the three companies. You will see that information. So, quick agenda. Guys, we're going to be here for, I'm hoping, less than 45 minutes. But I'm going to try to get through this as quickly as possible, get to the important information. So, we're going to do a quick introduction of the players, the union of Target, Vici, and Bubba, and how we're all working together. If you guys were here for a little bit of the pre-party, you heard, just as another example, Ryan and Bubba have been doing a podcast every other week or so at this point. They're super entertaining if you have the chance to go to them. They're not necessarily trading driven. It's about the trading world, things that are going on, things that have happened, what they've seen and what they've lived through. You're talking to two guys that were floor traders, overlapping time periods, and one started earlier, one worked later, and it's very interesting, guys, to hear their perspective on things. Very entertaining conversation. We're going to talk about the concept of the path to success. Those of you guys that are target students, you know this concept. I just want to make sure everyone gets the introduction to it. We're going to talk about two separate paths right now, the prop trading path and the auto trading path. We're going to talk about education and trade plans, and scheduling your appointments and the trader checkups, guys. So we're gonna wrap it up pretty quickly. All right. So real quick, I'm Mikey Z. I go through this every time, guys. If you don't know me at this point, I'm sorry. Nice to meet you. I'm the guy that kind of runs the companies from an operations standpoint. And I like to say I'm not only the president, I'm also a client. We have software, I use it. I do not allow us to do things that I don't eat my own dog chow with. So if something isn't working, I'm feeling it. If it is working, I'm praising it. Okay, so just so we all understand, we eat our own dog chow. Second, Pat Assalone, 20-year professional trading veteran, the modified market profile method, thousands of success stories. Those of you guys that are Pat students, you know the deal. You know what you got in for. There's a reason why you're still here. Um, some of you may not know Ryan, so we've brought Ryan. We have essentially partnered with Ryan on a number of different projects. We were super excited about doing this, still are. Continue to come out with some really cool things. Um, Ryan's a former floor trader, Chicago Board of Trade, developed Vici Trading Solutions, continues to develop the emergent edge technologies, which we're going to talk a lot about today. And he's taught thousands of traders. Your success stories are awesome. Every day, you guys post in your Discord room your success. How'd you do today, Ryan? How was your trade? How was your trade today? You're muted. You're muted.
100 points, man. I mean, collectively, essentially caught this short from 71.81 down to 71.52. So a little about 30 points from nose to nose. And with multiple contracts on, we were able to scale out and essentially bank 100 points on the day. So nice $5,000 day. We didn't take any trades yesterday, and then we did another 100 points the day before that. So pretty solid, but I'm very patient and I only take one trade and I'm done. So one or two
And
trades.
to be clear, that is the trades that you're teaching the students in the room, just so
Yeah,
everybody understands.
I had 25 people on stream today. They watched me take these trades live and a lot of them followed along. So,
Perfect.
like you said, I eat my own dog chow,
Eat your
so
own dog chow, baby.
that's right. So,
Guys, we got Bubba on with us. Many of you know Bubba. We merged with Bubba about 3 years ago now, which is crazy. 45-year trading veteran, 3 decades on the floor as a trader, legendary TV and radio personalities, developed multiple strategies, including some of the newer ones, which we're going to continue to talk about. And he's got about 15 years trading. How you doing today, Bubba? Can you hear us? think is he there?
Unmute. There I am. I got to unmute myself. I'm doing good. What's going on?
All good, man. All good. I got to tell you, I just did talk about it. Love your guys' podcast together. I also like that you guys are very similar. You both eat what you make. You decided that some of the longer term trades needed some changes. I know you made some huge changes to the EPM, the results. We're going to talk about the results today. They're crazy. DTF is doing absolutely fantastic. You've continued to modify things and make it better for everybody, and the proof is in the pudding. So we're going to talk a lot about that today. And then last but not least, we got JoJo. So Joe Johnson, many of you know him as the student services coordinator. Maybe some of you guys might not know this. 23 years in the financial industry. We used to work as a manager for the largest bank in the world. You're also a very successful prop trader
Second
in and of
largest.
his own right. So say that again.
Second largest.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Second largest bank in
Facts
the world.
matter, as Reacher
No,
says.
number
Details
two. No,
matter.
number two. No, second place is the first loser, though. So I'm just saying. All right.
But
All
that
right. So,
beard, though, did you see the beard? That makes up for a lot.
oh, it does make up for a lot.
It hides
Guys, by the
the
way,
stress.
so we've done some pretty cool stuff. If you guys have seen these awards in the past, by the way, we just won this education conference award again. So I have to get they have to send me a new logo to put up there. And we are in for top pro. There we go. We are in for top prop 2026. We are one of the companies that is in the running for it. We were just told that. So we continue to do what we do. 5-star rated. Go check out the companies, guys. I'm not going to harp on that. One thing I want to talk about real quick, and I stole this from Ryan because it's so good, guys. This is such an important concept. We build our programs and we find programs to bring to you guys that solve the problem, right? And the problem is why most traders struggle, right? What we've seen is there's no structure, they're always chasing stuff, they're over trading, and there's no accountability. All right. So every program that we bring to you guys, we bring with the intent of solving these issues. Okay. So even today, as we go and we talk about this, we're talking about an extremely volatile market with varying degrees of participation, from very little to in bunches of participation to it disappearing to more participation in the overnight than in the pit session. Okay. We're going through some crazy times right now. All the more reason to have programs that are designed to stop you from making simple mistakes. Okay. And when we talk about Vici trading, when we talk about Bubba trading, when we talk about target trading, they're all designed with these as a solution in mind. So I want everybody to understand that. Okay. Ryan, I love that you actually put this together in a slide, because I had this, and it wasn't this exactly the same words, but I like the way you presented it. I literally had these concepts written out because this is exactly what we work to solve. So let's talk about the union, guys. So the concept behind the union is Vici Trading Solutions, Target Trading Academy, and Bubba Trading working together. Okay. It's not a hard concept to understand. You've got 3 companies with very established traders, very successful programs in and of their own right. Okay. Now, what's interesting is each one of their programs is in and of itself successful, right? So for example, Ryan's S&P Edge program, he's got a bunch of students in there that are successful. How do I know? Because they post their results every day. All right. Pat has the same situation. As you guys know. You guys who are Pat students, you submit your trades every day to him, right? There's a video that goes out every day with all of the trade results. Guess what? Extremely successful, right? And then you look at what Bubba's doing, and we see both the EPM results, the trade results, the DTF results, all of the results every single day, week in, week out, month in, month out. Okay. But where it gets interesting, and this is why these 3 companies work so well together, is in the idea that they don't overlap each other. You're not going to learn something from Ryan that Pat's going to turn around and say, no, that's wrong. You're not going to learn something from Pat that Ryan's going to turn around and say is wrong. All right. You may learn something that Bubba says is wrong, but he's just fucking grumpy. Okay. So I got to speak totally honest here. All right.
Bubba
But no,
supersedes. Bubba supersedes
yeah,
us
Bubba
all.
supersedes. But the truth is these companies are designed to dovetail as opposed to overlap. Okay. They're designed to work together. You can take Pat's program and use it with Ryan's S&P Edge. And you can also add in the Market Mavericks blow off trade, and you can use all three programs together. And all that's going to do is give you more swings at bat with high probability programs. Okay. That's the idea here. The idea here, and I use the term layers of value, right? Maybe you start in one system, but then as you master it, you add an additional layer, and then you add an additional layer, and then you add an additional layer. This is what makes people successful traders. This is what makes people successful, period, financially, all right, is being able to add layers of value. That's the idea behind the union. That's what we're trying to accomplish here.
Okay, can I interject something that's way off script?
Sure.
Are you okay with that? So I've been developing my strategy for a long time, and now it's honed and it's exactly where I want it. But it's interesting that you came up with the concept or the idea of putting this stuff together. So I've had various mentors over the years, and I actually took the best parts from each one of these mentors and made it into my process, which it is today. And I feel like that's kind of what you're insinuating
Exactly what it is.
right here is you have three mentors. You could take the best pieces from each one and essentially develop your own flow, which is what I did with Vici. So just wanted to throw that out there.
And that's exactly what I'm going to talk about right now. So what we've developed for you guys is this concept. Any of you guys that are target students, you hear me use this phrase. I call it the path to success. Okay. Each of you has your own path to success. All right. I'll give you a great example. Those of you guys that are PAT customers, okay, those of you guys that are PAT students, especially longtime students, maybe you really like the gap fill, but you're not so keen on the reversal. Okay. You're going to implement the gap fill more, and that becomes your strategy because you see it. You see it cleaner. I'll give you an example. I don't see the reversal as cleanly as I see the gap fill. Okay. But then you might look at the blow off trade, which is what Bubba teaches, and say, wow, I totally get that. That's a reversion of the mean trade. It gets far enough away. It's coming back. It's just there. It's not. I see it. Okay. Each of you is going to find systems that work for you based on, and this is what we're talking about here, your needs, your time, your capability, your discipline, and the financial basis that you're starting with. Okay. The idea behind this is some people are very good snipers. Some people are and can sit and wait patiently. Some people want to be active and rip in and out of those trades. Some people want a combination of the both. Some people want to trade props. Some people want to trade live real money. Some people don't want to trade at all. They just want to build an automated trading fund for themselves. Okay. The idea behind the paths, plural, to success is the idea of exactly what Ryan just said. You can go to each one of these mentors, each one of these groups, and pick the best pieces for you and implement them to develop your own personal trading strategy. Okay. That is the idea behind it. All right. That is what this entire program is designed to do. That's why we created the union in and of itself. All right. So I'm going to keep moving. So let's start with the paths to success. Okay. The idea here is that you're going to choose the path that best suits you. All right. There are three main choices right now. None of them are bad choices, but I want to be clear. You start all the way at the top and you can pick two of them. You can pick all three, but understand there are three starting paths of where we want to start with. Okay. The first is prop. The second is auto trading. And the third is education and trade plans. Okay. This has never existed this way before. I broke it out into these three categories for a reason. Okay. Right now, in the market conditions that we're in, all right, many of you have gone to prop trading. Okay. Many of you have gone to prop trading for one simple reason. You don't want to risk your own money in these conditions. There's an opportunity to make a ton of money. You don't want to risk your own. So how do you do that? You prop trade. So developing programs for prop trading has been a big focus of ours. And you guys, we've been talking about this over a year now. This isn't new. We've developed programs specifically for this. We're just adding to those programs now. Okay. The second is auto trading. These are scary times. Okay. Having professional trades executed for you, trades that you can go in and modify and adjust if you want to, is a huge advantage as opposed to you trying to start learning how to trade by starting in crazy market conditions. That'd be like learning to drive a car by learning on a Formula One track. Okay. It doesn't necessarily make sense for you to do that. The first time you swim shouldn't be scuba diving, right? So that's the idea of having access to the auto traders. The last piece, the education and trade plans, this is a supplemental piece. This is for people who want to get deeper. Okay. They want to get deeper. They're doing this for the education purpose as opposed to the immediate financial gains purpose. Okay. So there's three different levels here: prop, auto, and education trade plans. If you have limited funds or you want to put limited funds at risk, you should be prop trading. Okay. That doesn't mean that if you have $50 million in the bank that you shouldn't prop trade. If you're not comfortable putting money at risk, prop trade. It's limited risk exposure. Okay. Upside potential, limited risk exposure. Auto trading, you do need to have more assets for. Okay. To be clear, because we have talked about this a few times, there are few, if no, prop trading firms that will allow you to go full auto on a purchased software. Okay. So you have to trade your own accounts for that. If you're auto trading, it should be on your personal accounts. Okay. So what do you need from a funds perspective? You need enough of a deposit to be able to trade in those accounts. The last piece, the education and the trade plans, that's different. That's a case by case basis. You have to decide what you want to do. Okay. From a time perspective, people who are prop trading need to have more time. Okay. Because you make your money with the elbow grease. You have to be able to sit in front of the computer and take those trades. Okay. It's the more time versus money argument. Okay. You'll hear Pat talk about that a lot. From an auto trading standpoint, you don't need much time at all. Most of our auto trading programs are full auto. You can leave them on full auto. Some of the options programs, you can go in and manually manage the trade if you choose to, but most of our programs are letter of direction and they only work on full auto. You're checking the receipts once a month. Okay. And then from the education and trade plan perspective, you need time. Okay. If you're going to get into mentorships and you're going to get into learning programs, you need time to do that. Okay. That is a time commitment. All right. So for prop, limited amount of funds is fine, or limited desire to put funds at risk. But you have plenty of time. Auto, plenty of money. Maybe don't have the time or don't want to commit the time. And education plans, you need time, but you can either have funds or not. It doesn't matter. Okay. So just a quick understanding of where we're starting from. We're going to start with prop. So why prop right now, guys? I just said it to you. If you've got money right now and you want to fund a $100,000 futures account, okay, and you're learning to trade, I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's probably not the best idea. Okay. Either trade sim or trade prop, because if you win at prop, you get to keep the money. It's that simple.
I want to throw something out there real fast. I hate to keep interrupting you, but
No. That's what you're here for, brother.
one of the things that I like about prop one, it gives you, especially when you're new, it gives you really defined risk parameters, right? So you actually learn how to control your risk, which is super important because eventually, ultimately, the idea is to make enough money in prop where you could trade cash, right? Or have it be part of it, right? The other thing about prop that I find extremely compelling is the fact that when you trade sim, and I'm talking about just full sim, there's no emotions there, nothing, right? You're just like, oh, I'll just add into it if it keeps going, or if you stop out. Sometimes you'll play around, you're like, oh, that was a $50,000 loss, right? Because it's sim, you don't really give a shit, right? But when you're trading prop, either whether you pay $100 for the prop account or you're paying $250 for the prop account, you still have skin in the game. And more importantly, there's certain rules that they set for you. And let me tell you, nobody wants to lose, right? It becomes more of an emotional construct that you're like, oh man, I'm getting ready to blow out. I don't want to do this. So you actually have a little bit of emotional, not only do you have monetary skin in the game because these things aren't free, but also you have an emotional side to it because you literally have someone who will pass or fail you. And so you tend to get a little bit more emotionally involved. And you can only imagine what it's like when you're trading real money and you're, winning or losing real money. Then your emotions are super flaring. So I guess that's where prop kind of like, it always gave me I still had that skin in the game type. I didn't want to lose. I need to play by the rules versus sim, because sim is just whatever it is. I mean, it's, people that say they sim trade, I sim traded for a year. Yeah. What did you get out of that? Probably nothing, So I just
Yep.
wanted to throw that out there because there is an emotional aspect to still trading prop. And I think that's
And
very,
it puts rails on it that are rails that you should learn to trade within. They're
yeah, for
not
sure.
bad rails.
For
So
I
so
think,
guys, oh, go ahead, Bubba.
I just think that instead of sim trading, I think everybody should prop trade. I think it's a lot better. It's got meaning to you. I've tested a lot of systems over the years for other companies.
I agree.
And, I go, how do I get paid? I just made $50,000 on your system. How do I get paid? Well, if you're actually prop trading, you get
You
to
can.
trade and you get to keep the money. And if you're wrong, you're learning. So it's an advanced sim trading that gives
Yeah.
you real life experience where you actually care about the trade you're making and
Yeah.
you're working towards a goal. I mean, I still trade cash, but I'm going to go into prop accounts myself because I think they're a lot of fun and I think they're a lot of opportunity. And listen, there's nothing wrong with trying to make more money.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
I like the leverage that props gives you too. A lot of these prop companies now also, one of the exciting things about them is that sometimes you can marry, 5 or 6, 10, 20 accounts at the same time. And man, now you're cooking with gas. So
Yeah.
I'm probably getting ahead of you right here, but
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's okay. It's okay. It's exactly how I feel. So, there are three different methods, guys, that we have right now that are prop trading methods. Okay. First is the prop trade accelerator program. It's a futures program. It's Pat's trade. So you guys are familiar with this. You're going to take the target is to take multiple trades a day, 2 to 5 minute trades, sometimes up to 30 minutes, but they're fairly rapid. We do have trade assist software and indicators, defined risk management system. I'm going to go into detail on that in a minute. Some of you may not be familiar with Ryan's program. It's called S&P Edge. Okay, I refer to it as a same day swing trade. There are fewer trades, one sometimes two a day, longer trades with big moves. Okay, what are you looking for? What's your target on those, Ryan?
I do not take anything that's less than 10 points, but I'm generally looking for anywhere between 15 and 30 on a move. I particularly curtail my levels around high time frame setups. And like today's short, it paid, a little over 30 points or 35 points, whatever. It took 2.5 hours, but I literally put the trade on. I put my feet on my desk and I kicked back on stream and I
Waited.
chatted everybody up and made
Yeah,
100 points. Yeah.
yeah.
So
And then last but not least, we have the Daily Trade Finder, which we recently rolled out about a month ago. It is zero DTE vertical credit spreads and iron condors. This is options only, and it is manually trading. Very defined risk, very defined profit, very structured trades, and it's performing very well.
this is
So
that's an awesome program. It's all credit spreads too. I was very
yeah,
attracted to that. Yeah.
yeah, it's very simple too. You can put them
Yeah.
on and wait and monitor them. So, guys, I'm going to jump in real quick. I'm not going to spend a lot of time in these because most of you guys are familiar with them, but I'm just going to talk real quick about what the different programs are. So, Target Trading Academy's Prop Trade Accelerator program. All right. It does include a variety of different softwares, but the most important thing is it starts with the basics. Okay, you got to understand the basics. So we call it the Future Starter Pack or the Fast Track, depending on which one you go with. Has the campus library, the ramp up room, the market profile room, first 100 trade reviews, money management one, money management two. Okay, um, those of you guys that are in the program right now know this is the basics. Okay, if you want to go through it quickly, it's the Fast Track. If you want to go through the Future Starter Pack, it's a longer term process. The actual prop trade accelerator is all of that. Plus, you get the voila, or you'll hear this called Presto, guys. It's the same software. It just depends on which program you're using it for. Okay. You get access to the executioner software. This is the reversal software. Okay. You can pick a different trading software. These are trade assist. Okay. These are not auto traders. You have to know how to use the levels in the systems. You can either pick DaVinci, Executioner, or the Bbot as your trade assist software, meaning you see the setup, you turn the software on, it enters the trade manages for you and exits. Okay. So all three of those are available. You can pick one as part of the Prop Trade Accelerator program. Um, they are available on NinjaTrader and TradingView. Okay. The TradingView edition is a very recent edition. We have added that because we're finding more and more of our traders are using TradingView, getting off of NinjaTrader. Okay. So all of them are developed for the TradingView software. There are slight variations in them about how the executions work and stuff, but the overarching utility of each one of the programs is the same on TradingView as it is for NinjaTrader. In fact, I actually prefer the Bbot on TradingView. Bubba, I know you use it on both. You've used it on both. I actually prefer the Bbot on TradingView, and I'm not a TradingView fan, but it's very, very clean. Um, the last piece is the master key. You get all the stuff if you want it. But it's in addition to all of those programs, you also get Bubba's Market Mavericks room, which is the blow off trade. You get the market profile software programs, all of those programs as opposed to having to pick one, and you get all of the mentorships. For those of you that aren't familiar, the mentorships are small group mentorships. They are the advanced training mechanisms that we use. For example, drawing HVAs is learning to draw your own HVAs. You become a completely independent trader. You no longer need Pat. Accelerated market profile is everything that Pat teaches over the course of the 12 months. It's crammed into 6 weeks. It's a phenomenal course. Cannot say enough good things about that. Our most successful students take that course. And then there's advanced market context, which is integrating different aspects of other programs that we have into the market profile. That's adding more arrows into your quiver. There are master key opportunities available. One thing I will say, if you want the master key, okay, if you want the master key, you got to talk to Joe, okay? We don't have the push button pricing anymore for master key for a reason. Notice something that it doesn't include, guys. New master keys. Master keys right now will no longer include any of the letter of direction products. They're being sold as a separate product for a reason. Okay. We took all of the full auto programs out of the master key. Okay. I want to be crystal clear about that. All right. So any new master keys do not include those. That's why I encourage you to speak to Joe, because if that's why you're getting it, you don't want to get it. You want to go to the individual programs. Okay. So that is a conversation with Joe. Give me just 1 second because the slide did not work correctly there. And I don't know why. Hold on. Let me stop this and reset it, guys.
Take your
Give me just.
time. Well, I'll entertain them for a few minutes.
I have no idea. Yeah, why it didn't do that. Let me see why.
So Ryan, do we get to that 2 to 4% pullback? What's your take, brother?
I mean, it's a nice start today so far, isn't it?
Yeah.
As you and I talked about, I'm sure you remember, we talked about this big weekly point of control we're sitting at, right? It was a 71.50 or something like that, or
I
70.
don't remember what happened on Sunday. I don't remember
Yeah.
what you told
Well,
me.
we're sitting there now anyway, and it's a big battleground for us. This is our dividing line. I truly believe on ES, if we push up under 21, we're going to come down to that spot you want. Where were you looking at? I can't remember.
69,
86.
69.86, baby.
I think we're headed there. I
I do
truly do.
too.
I'm already preparing myself for a long-term swing because I'm dying to buy this pullback for the next leg up.
Yes, I think it goes a little bit lower. You ready, Michael?
I'm ready.
All
Thanks
right,
for
so
entertaining,
I
guys.
will go back to mute. We want to have the elevator
Yeah,
music going so that people had something.
that was a great commercial. I love the commercial
Yeah,
break.
we're here for your
So,
entertainment.
guys, target system. Look, a couple of advantages with it, right? You can trade multiple markets, right? Pat's looking at multiple markets every day for the prop trade markets. You could take multiple trades. You do work off of defined levels, and there's trade automation. Now, it's not full auto. Remember, it's trade assist software. So it just when you're examining different programs and understanding different things, understand that that trade assist software is designed to allow you to trade multiple markets, to take multiple trades, and to still be accurate. So the second path for prop trading is the Vici Trading Solutions path. Now, I did this intentionally, guys. I want to take the time with Ryan to kind of talk about this because the more we address this, I think the better understanding people have about how they can integrate it. I think it's extremely important, right? Now you're looking at one market. You're looking at the ES, correct?
That's all I trade. Yeah, the S&P futures. Now I do use SPX, and VIX, but I only trade the ES, correct?
Okay. And your pre-market plan, walk me through exactly what they get and how that works. Because you send them a trading plan each day,
Sure.
correct?
Yeah. So every day, I start drawing up this plan every morning. So we've had a lot of volatility in the overnight session. So I found it to be beneficial for traders to get the plan right before the pre-market news, which generally is about 8:30. And, I basically give them options market maker positioning, which we call gamma levels to kind of understand if we're in a positive gamma regime, which means that we will continue to drift higher, or a negative gamma regime, meaning that options dealers are currently suppressing and we could potentially move down, which we are today, actually, believe it or not. So that's why we've seen a little bit more volatility. I also get into expected ranges. I talk about my bias for the day, and then I actually get into exactly the levels that people need to be looking at, and I define which ones are my favorite. And more importantly, what I think is the biggest part of the trade plan, which has been the biggest help for students, is it's one thing to have a level and understand, like, okay, Ryan says this level is going to work, right? But how do I know it's going to work? Right. And so what we do is we basically have something called the actionable setup. So it might say you're going to buy levels 6,000 and you are going to wait for this to play and you're not going to get long until 6,250. And that will confirm that buyers have showed up. So that allows you to not only see the level play, but have the confidence that the trade is working in your favor. Then you get long off the actionable setup and your stop goes below the swing low, which essentially keeps your risk extremely defined. And I also give targets and everything else. And and I also give pictures that show exactly the levels so that you can line them up to your chart, which is very important. And then, like you, I have started to incorporate some trading view stuff. And so, in the bottom of every single trade plan, there's a string. You can copy it and put it in the indicator that everyone can download for free off of TradingView. And it marks all the levels for you, exactly what the levels I'm talking about. And they're color coded to my same format because again, to make things easy, I have like a green level means a 4 hour, pink level means a daily. And once you get used to it, it's very easy to look at this and just say, oh, that's what that is. And so you know what to expect. So that's essentially what the trade plan delivers every morning. And I get it to people at 8:30 in the morning before the news.
So they get to incorporate those levels. You're telling them what to look for, the specific indicators, and they're waiting and watching 1 to 2 trades a day.
That's it.
Very
That's
cool.
it.
So,
Yep.
as I said before, guys, you can see how this overlays very well with what Pat's doing and what Bubba is doing in the future side because this is one trade. You're looking for a certain level in the ES. You're looking for certain indicators, and if they're there, they're there. If they're not, they're not. And it often happens, Ryan, that not often, but it does happen that it never hits the levels you need it to. Correct? That the
Yeah, I
trade
didn't take
doesn't.
a trade yesterday. So it's very, we normally get a trade every single day, but it is a possible chance that you won't. And please remember one thing, guys, cash or not taking a trade, like Bubba said on Sunday, that is actually a position, whether you like to believe it or not. Being patient is a skill that is actually cultivated in that over time. It's not something that a lot of new people can do. And having the trade plan, so I've actually put a survey out to my people, and one of the things that they like the most about the trade plan is that it gives them the confidence and the ability to wait for the levels to come to them. They're no longer nervous. They're no longer thinking about, oh, should I execute here? They know exactly what they're looking for. They know exactly the level, and they know exactly where to execute based on the actionable side of things. So it's been a big help for newcomers for sure.
No, I love it. I've gotten used to, and initially I had to kind of digest the trade plan, and then once I did, I was like, wow, this is literally telling me this is my roadmap. This is my
Yes,
daily roadmap.
it's like
So I
paint by
sit,
numbers
yeah,
almost.
it's pain, it's what it is, and I'm looking for this because if this happens, then I'm doing this, and that's it. It wasn't like there wasn't a huge amount of thought involved once you kind of understood it, and that's it. And especially for you guys that are more experienced traders, you're gonna understand it right out of the gates. It's
Yeah,
it's it's very straightforward, very very straightforward. So, you have the S&P Edge, which is the daily trade plan. They get that via email each day,
correct.
right?
Yep.
Then you've got your daily live trading room inside of Discord. So, what are the hours of your daily live trading room?
So the Discord is open 24/7. We have a lot. I've actually have a pretty large European crew. So we have guys in there trading basically 24/7, all the markets. I have a bunch of big time crypto guys in there as well. And please keep in mind something is, the process that we're trading, my process that I've, created through, the course and et cetera, it works across all asset classes. So we're all looking at things the exact same way. So the room is running nonstop. I personally, am on a live stream basically from about 9:15 to noon, 12:30. So I stream every morning, stream my charts, give my little dissertation. We go over the trade plan in the morning just to kind of let people get a better concept of exactly what I'm looking at. And then, we execute together. Guys get to see my exact fills, my targets, et cetera, my thought process on that. So that's a huge help for anybody coming in. It's really helped develop a lot of people into amazing traders because, it's one thing to trade, it's another to actually understand the concepts behind the move.
Right, right. And you're talking about them as they're happening, correct?
Of
That's the
course, yeah.
whole
And before they
mindset.
happen, right? I'm like,
Yep,
oh, I think we're gonna hit this level. Okay, okay, guys, I'm short. Let's do it. Let's get it. You know what I
yep,
mean? So
yep. And because you're looking at one chart, essentially, it's very simple. Everyone's all looking at the same thing, and they can
yeah,
upload. You said they can take the links and they can upload them to have the similar chart, so their charts look like yours,
absolutely.
correct?
Yeah. So it's been super beneficial to people because I have a lot of trading view users. And so, I send you the plan at 8:30 in the morning. So you only get an hour basically to read the plan and draw your levels. So if they're a trading view user, they put the levels in, they have them in 5 minutes. They don't have to, mess around with all that. So it's been extremely helpful for a lot of people.
Now, if they upgrade, and I'll get into the pricing in just a few minutes,
Sure.
but they have the video instruction library.
Yeah.
This is not a traditional library, guys, with a bunch of like 3-minute videos or 5-minute videos. You have 45 lessons.
Yeah.
Each is 3 sessions, correct? You have to broken into like 3 sections.
Yeah,
Is
so
that
the
how?
way it works is I have beginner, intermediate, and advanced. Each section has 15 videos essentially, and they're broke down into highly curated, lessons here. And guys, listen, I'm very proud of this, by the way. This isn't just some fluff that I put together. I truly believe this is the trading Bible. I truly believe if you take this course and you apply the principles, that you will be a profitable trader in a matter of months.
And then you're adding in it actually this Thursday. You've got the first of the how to use the trade plan,
Yep.
how to trade the trade plan sessions.
Yeah.
Love this concept. I think it's great. Guys, it's public. Can you drop the link, Ryan, by the way, in the chat? Do you
Yeah.
mind doing that?
Sure.
Um, so guys, if you are curious about what it's like and what the trade plan looks like, etc., he on Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern, you're
Yeah.
hosting how to trade the trade plan. Strongly recommend going to it. A lot of it's self-explanatory, but it'll give you a good idea of what the trades plans actually look like, which I think is super important.
And it's going to be a
Uh,
live Q&A. I'm going to go over everything, and feel free to shoot me questions. I'm an open book. They got nothing to hide here. So it's open, like you said, it's open to the public. You don't have to be a subscriber. There will be a lot of subscribers in there, but it is open to anyone. So
Um, and the last piece, guys, when we're talking about Ryan stuff, is you can use it on any chart. You can use it on your Ninja Trader chart. You can use it on TradingView. You can use it on Sierra charts. It really is not chart specific. You can use it prop or live. There's a lot of live traders using it. And you can trade minis. You can trade micros. Hold on one sec. You just drop that into the hosts and
I don't
panelists.
know how to send it to the audience. I only
Yeah,
have
no
one.
problem. I got it.
Joe might have to take care of it.
Hold on. No.
Yeah, so I definitely encourage everyone to show up. You'll get a really good glimpse of exactly what the trade plans do. I'm just actually in the process of preparing a pitch deck now, and I think it's going to be super informative and help people really understand the methodology and exactly what it is that I do. And it's, it's insanely unique, but when you look at it, it's highly precise and it's not that difficult actually. Once that you understand the concepts and understand, how to interpret where we're at in value, the rest is pretty much easy money. So
Love it. Love it. All right, so I'm going to jump to the last one, which is the daily trade finder. Bubba, we've been trading this what about we're closing a little over a month now. Um, guys, this is simple. All right, it's super clear signal. You get the signal in the morning if there's a trade. If there are vertical credit spreads, you're putting them into either your prop account or your personal account. Very simple entry. They're zero DTE, so you're putting them in for today. You're either closing it today or it closes itself today. Extremely defined risk, and look, it's impossibly consistent, right? So the numbers have been fantastic. Bubba, do you want to talk a little bit about it?
I mean, it's just with the way they set up expirations now, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you've got Apple, Amazon, and the Nvidia, Tesla, and Monday through Friday, you've got the SPY, IWM, and the Qs. So we have a lot of opportunities to look at trades. And of course, we're going to wait for the right opportunities to put these trades together. But we're just collecting credit and we're trying to beat the clock, and we have no overnight news to worry about. It's simply, it's about a 4 to 5 hour trade. That's all we're looking for. We're looking to cash that trade and pick up, $40 a contract, $30 a contract. And we do it in such a way that we get the trades out, we get them ready. And in fact, this morning we put one out and it didn't get filled. I don't always put a specific fill price of what I want to, but I gave out an order this morning to wait till if it wasn't filled by 10:30, cancel the order. It did not fill, so we canceled the order and we had no trades today. But again, there's a lot of opportunity, and the more that we can find, the more credit spreads we can sell. The more credit we can sell, the more opportunity we're going to have to be in the market without really an opinion, just in a market trying to collect the premium and trying to collect the credit. And of course, credit grows, which then hence the size of your trading gets to grow along with it. And I'm always from the school that you got to earn the right to trade bigger.
Yep. Yep. So now if you are prop trading it, let's say you're in a $25,000 account, you can use either 10 times the contracts or 20 times the contracts. This is actually a sample account that we're running right now that's taking every trade that's submitted. As of right now, it's up 308 per contracts from March 18th to April 24th, which is about little over 12% gain. And that's on the 10 times contract. It's up 3 grand, guys. So that's on a small $25,000 prop account. So it's a grind. It's a steady grind every day. One thing that I've done with this account, just for conversation purposes, is I started it at a 10 times contract. I move it to 15 contracts, and now mine's at 20 contracts. So it's literally doubling what it's doing. It was just able to get out of that risk period initially, and now it's fine.
Not to
So
throw you under the bus, but didn't you tell me that you're actually been like passing some prop accounts with this trade finder?
just a couple. I'm actually I so I've already got 3 that are passed, and 2 have already paid out.
That's
And
pretty awesome. That's awesome.
I have another one that I'm actually testing different prop companies with this because I want to make sure before we recommend to the students to use a certain prop company, I want to make sure that we can get paid with it, right? So that's the big thing with prop companies, guys, making sure we can get payouts. So Trade Funder, it works great with. There's a little bit of a learning curve when you first use their execution software. Remember, it's not a charting software. You have to kind of put the trade in manually. There's a little bit of a learning curve with the trade management side of it. It's not hard. It just doesn't look like TradeViewer's interface. But it's very straightforward. So yeah, I've been doing very, very well with this program. Honestly, this is one of my favorite trades because it's so simple, right? You get your email in the morning, you put the trade on, and then you'll get an email if there's a modification to the trade during the day. Just so everyone's aware, we have the program in place to issue the trades via text message as well. So you'll get both an email and a text message with the trades in it. So just so everybody's aware, that program is in place. We just had to backfill some of the compliance stuff to make sure that we were allowed to text and the texting parameters were correct for it. All right. So that's a big one. I know people get buried. I personally get buried in emails. So I actually have a special finder for my daily trade finder emails. But for everybody else, guys, it's there. It'll be via text. You'll be able to opt which one you want or if you want both. All right. So just so everybody understands, there's 2 versions of each one of these programs. There's the basics, right? And then there's the upgrades. So for example, Target is the Future Starter Pack. The upgrade is the Prop Trade Accelerator. Vici, it's the S&P Edge. And then the upgrade is the VIP. The basics is the Daily Trade Finder. And then well, Michael, we're going to start the texting. We were actually supposed to start this week, but it'll be next week that it'll be available. And then the upgrade for the Bubba Trading's Daily Trade Finder is the Comprehensive Options Program and all the other programs. Okay. Just so we're all square on pricing. Okay. There has been a price adjustment. We were sending you guys emails and texts and telling you guys about this. Okay. All of the basic programs, all right, are now 2,000. All of the upgrade programs are in that $5,000 range. So they're in the 4,997 range. Okay. If you have an interest in those programs, when the email comes back out to you guys, you'll see the buy now buttons. Okay. We did take the prop trade accelerator off of the $2,500 $350 a month model. If you're currently on it, you can stay on it, but you will be paying more. Okay. The current program is at 5,000. Okay. So it's a flat 5,000 or 4,997, I think is the actual one. Um, all of these for the year, correct. Um, each one of these programs that you see, if you remember, we used to have a program called Learn While You Earn. It's the same program as what's available here. So you get the comprehensive option program and any of Bubba's programs to trade with. The VIP program includes the S&P Edge, the Discord room, all of those, and it allows you to go to the trade plan sessions. And then the prop trade accelerator includes the one software, all of the indicators. If it does include the mentorship and the live trading room, and that whole gamut. If you're interested in upgrades past that, there are the master key programs that have more. But like I said, do that as a one-on-one conversation with Joe. The reason I encourage that, Joe, if you could drop your email in there, the reason I encourage that is those are built completely custom for you guys. I don't want to over discuss that in a crowd. Okay.
Hey, and just
So
to clarify real quick before you move on, if you go back to that last slide, the prop trade accelerator, you made a comment, and just to clarify, you get the automated HVAs and one trade assist software with Patrick's room time, and then he does the training on Fridays. So I think you said all the softwares or all the indicators. The indicator itself is Presto.
yep.
So it's one of each, whereas the master key, it's all the market profile stuff, including all the mentorships that Patrick does. But we'll discuss that, and if anyone's interested, email me at joe@targetrading.co.
Now it's my turn. Now it's my
Go
turn.
ahead, Buck.
All right, so here's the way that my stuff's laid out with Beach, just to let you guys know. It's $5,000, but that includes the course, the Discord, and the S&P Edge. Once you've seen the course, like the course, you don't have to continue to pay the 5,000 every year, right? So essentially, what your re-up would only be the S&P Edge and the Discord room at that point in time. Once you've digested the course, which is essentially $3,500, and obviously he's given a deal here through this whole, package. But once you've digested that, you understand the foundation, the core of everything. So then it's really just the upkeep on the plans and if you want to stay in the community.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great point, by the way. And we actually have the same situation with the comprehensive options program. As you guys know, you don't need to, you have access to the mentorship after you've taken it, because the idea is once you've taken it, you really don't go back and keep taking it. It's the same, exactly the same concept. So, those are the main prop trading education systems. If you have questions, you want to learn more, I encourage you, reach out to Joe, reach out to me, reach out to Ryan. We're happy to go over it with you. We're happy to talk in more detail. The second step of this was the auto trading. And as you guys know, like we've been really accelerating in this vertical. And the reason why, to be completely frank with you, is these conditions are getting more and more to where you almost have to be a superior trader to be able to take advantage of them. So we want to make sure that you guys have access to, can you do it on your own? Yes, you can. You can learn how to do it. We'll do everything we can to help you. But if you find that you can't, or that you want to leverage your time, effort, energy, and your money, we want to give you guys platforms to be able to do that with. So we've been in the process of developing multiple fully automated trading platforms to be able to give you guys essentially like your own hedge fund model, where you can go in and you can identify which programs you like best. Okay. Biggest thing with automated trading platforms, it's less time, right? Not time intensive. You do have to have enough for deposits. Okay. Understand that these aren't for prop firms. Okay. Some of these have small deposits. Some of them have $5,000 trading accounts. Some of them have $50,000 trading accounts. It's very important that as I go through this, you understand the minimum deposits. The ones that have the larger deposits, it's there for a reason. We're not just putting that in there because we think you should be trading with more money. It's a combination of understanding margin, how much you need to be able to carry positions, and then your maximum risk. Okay. Understanding max risk. We don't want it to take 3 trades and you blow out an account. Okay. So certain products work only in micros. Certain products work only in minis. Certain options products, you need to be able to hold a position for an extended period of time. So we've made modifications over time to a lot of the systems to try to make them as accessible as possible, but understand that there are minimums for them. There's also the concept of trading different instruments, futures versus options, and understanding maybe you're a really good futures trader. You don't really understand options, but you want to get the benefit of trading it, or vice versa. And then the barriers to entry, which is your deposit. Okay. Understanding that you know, what thresholds you want to play at and what risk tolerance you have, right? Some of the programs are, I call them grind programs, right? You're going to make $100, $50, $75 versus you have an account that might go up 15%, then it's going to go down 10, then it's going to go up 20 and then down 17. Not everybody wants to see that and stomach it. So understanding the risk tolerance and how each one of the platforms actually works is really important for your sanity, right? Let's use the real word here, guys. It's for your sanity. I can tell you, I personally don't do well with accounts that swing everywhere because I tend to look at my accounts every day. I prefer more of a grind style account. Okay. There are people that don't want to look at their account for 30 days, 6 months, whatever it is. Understanding yourself and understanding your risk tolerance, but also understanding your risk sensitivity is really, really important. All right. So just a quick overview of what the current programs are that are full auto that are available. Okay. The first is Emergent Edge. Now we released the original Emergent Edge program. It's called Emergent Edge 15 or XV, was released about 2 weeks ago. Okay. We've sold a bunch of them. It's this program's awesome. Can't say enough good things. I'm going to drill into it in a little bit, but understand Emergent Edge is it's not just one trading software. It's a platform that has multiple trading softwares inside of it, and a new one is actually being released this week. So we're going to talk a little bit about that in a minute. Futures portfolio management. This has been a long time platform that's a letter of direction platform that has been performing phenomenally well. We haven't talked about it in a while, and I want to kind of bring it back to the forefront so people can see and remember, hey, oh yeah, that program does really, really well. Gap Hunter is currently trading live. It's been disqualifying a ton of trades lately, guys. It's just not the market for gap fills right now. It's regularly disqualifying. You guys know this. It goes through cycles. 6 months ago, every trade was a gap fill, right? Right now, it's going through a period where it's disqualifying a ton of trades. P.S. I'd rather have it disqualify a trade. Okay, that's what it's for. Um, Equity portfolio management, the EPM strategy we took offline in June of last year. Many of you guys will remember this platform. We took it offline. We changed the program. Okay, we made a ton of modifications to allow it to trade in a different cycle, and we lowered the number of trades that it takes. We lowered the number of contracts that it's in at any time, and we lowered the risk. And guess what? It's back online. It's up big this year. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Rise, the automated Rise options program, and the hedging software. Now, the hedging, I'm going to say this. If you're not hedging right now and you have a portfolio that is in your 401k, in an IRA, personal trading accounts, you've got it somewhere, there's going to be a big webinar on this next week. So we're not going to delve into it a ton today, but get yourself hedging programs. Okay. This type of volatility is where that hedging strategy works best. Protect yourself, protect your assets. This is the time and place to have it happen. Okay. So let's talk about Emergent Edge. So this is quant modeling for futures. It's developed by professional floor trader Ryan Bailey. Hey, there he is. And the quant developer Rob Curry. We had Rob on when we introduced Emergent Edge. I should have invited him today. I'm sorry that I didn't. Rob is really smart. That's basically the best way to
I
explain it.
wouldn't let Rob is handcuffed to his keyboard right now, working on the next product. He's not allowed to come up for air until he's done.
Perfect, perfect. You guys have had just absolutely amazing performance with the letter of direction programs. They're just absolutely ripping right now. And I want to be clear, it's not one, but it's two programs. So the XV or the 15 is the program that we introduced about 2 weeks ago. There's a lot of people on here that have purchased it, signed up for it. And then the scalp is being introduced actually today. I guess we're doing a soft opening of it today. It's still got a couple of days that I want to do a big presentation with it. But Emergent Edge 15 or the XV product, it's 100% fully automated letter of direction. or you can download it onto your Sierra Charts platform and you can run it yourself. Okay. To be clear, guys, it only is on Sierra Charts. It's not a Ninja Trader. It's not on TradingView or anything else. You can run it yourself. You can trade micros, minis, whatever contracts you want. It is only the ES, though. I want to be clear. Okay. It's an opening range trending entry, ES only. You're looking for a trade a day, max two. You know, when you guys back tested this, how many days total did you see that were two trades? I didn't
There
see
was
that
a
many.
handful over the course of 3 years, and I think over and just to give people some accurate numbers here, just so you know, set expectations clearly. I think over the course of I think it was 2.5 years, it only took about 360 trades.
Right.
So it's really looking for those high confidence, high probability trades, and they're big trades, right? So like
Yep.
it didn't take a trade today. Again, of course, we didn't, we've kind of been stuck in this silly range right now, but it really kind of grabs that opening range breakout essentially and takes the momentum as far as it can.
So, and it scales from 2 to 10 micros contracts, traded micros, scales from 2 to 10 contracts. You're talking about a $320 max risk per trade.
Correct.
Okay. And I love this term, by the way, and do me a favor and just explain this. You call it the positive expectancy model, right? So it's a minimum 2 to 1 reward to risk, 3 to 1 on the second target. Can you just walk through how
Correct.
that works?
Yeah, so here's the deal. This thing has and I'm just going off rough numbers here. I think this thing has about a 54% win rate, right? So the way that we've basically made it extremely profitable is that we're looking for at least a 2 to 1 risk to reward on our first target, and then a 3 to 1 on our second target. So as this thing gets into trades, even though let's just say it loses half of the trades that it takes, the ones that it does make, it's basically doing at least a 2 to 1, which is why this is an extremely successful strategy. And so, we are looking for those larger moves on each individual trade. The nice part about the way this is as well is as you can see, this has a $320 risk per trade, but that is the max risk. So we actually have some proprietary technology in there that causes the trade to move up as the price starts to go in our direction. And so, generally it doesn't take, like it says right there, the average loss is about $170. But then again, our average win is 368. So you can clearly see the numbers are right about 2 to 1 just from that. And it puts up pretty strong numbers. But again, this thing's really trading and it's really grinding out. So, depending on certain market regimes, when we're really trending, it makes a lot of money. And when we're going sideways, it might just sit on its hands like it has these past couple of days. So, you just have to be patient. You get in, you basically turn this thing on, you check on it once a month, something like that.
Yep. Yep. And I do want to stress on this one. This is the starting account is $10,000. That doesn't mean you have to use $10,000, but understand it's scaling 2 to 10 contracts. So
Correct.
can you use it with smaller amounts? You could probably use this, to be honest, you could use it with less, but for the numbers, for the statistics, and for the potential for pullback and the risk, we just recommend the starting balance of
I mean,
10,000.
I personally have it on a $5,000 account. Okay, I'll just put that out there. But again, I'm comfortable with that drawdown. So, like, if it pulls back $1,000 on a $10,000 account, that's only 10%. But on my $5,000 account, it's 20%. So, but I'm comfortable with that because I understand the numbers long term they play out the way they're supposed to.
And that's over the 3 years. That was from a high watermark to that 10%
Correct.
pullback.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
wasn't from the actual starting balance. So,
Correct. Yeah,
um,
I think it was already up about, I don't know, it must have been up, I don't know, 8 grand or something before it actually pulled back that 10%.
so we have it running on the live account right now. The last day of receipts that I got was 423. So they're in my email. I got to update this, but it was up 10.1%. So it was up $1,010
It's nice.
on the $10,000 account as of 423. So that's actual real life trading, what it's doing in the account. To be clear, guys, this is letter of direction. Okay, which means that you can't go in and modify the trade unless you buy the software for your personal account. Okay. If you are interested in it, you want to learn more about it, you can reach out to Joe. I'm also going to drop a link right now in the chat that you guys can jump into. There's some more information there. There's some pricing models and things like that. Okay. Um, the second Emergent Edge product is the Emergent Edge Scalp. Now, this is newly released. Okay. To be clear, okay, so everybody's on board with this one, and everybody understands where I'm coming from. This is not the same product, okay? It's called Emergent Edge because that's the technology company that released it. Scalp, this one is the Scalp program, okay? Do you want to walk through the trade real quick, Ryan?
Yeah, sure. And just to let everybody know here, you guys are the first persons to hear about this. I didn't realize that he was actually going to be introducing this today. So this is a sneak peek for
Let's
everyone
go.
on here, right? Yeah, so this is a completely opposite of what the last one was, right? So the last one was very conservative, taking three trades, a week, 3 or 4 trades a week, looking for the big moves. This one is exactly the opposite of that. This thing is taking 3 to 5 trades a day. It's using order flow and momentum, gauging momentum, and we're basically looking for scalps. So we have small 1.5 point stops. We have 2 contracts. We're looking for 2 points and 4 points. And the stats on this have been incredible, as Mike, I'm sure, will show you here shortly. So we basically use
Yep.
a range bar. What a range bar is basically, and I'll just, 30,000 feet, a 1 minute candle, 5 minute candles, whatever, a lot can happen in those candles, right? A 5 minute candle can be 100 points or it could be 5 points. You never know. A range bar is set to what size it is right off the rip. So, that's how we gauge momentum. So, long story short, we use this thing to gauge momentum, we use order flow, and we're constantly reaching out and grabbing just a few points here and there. If you've ever traded before, you probably notice when price gets to a level of resistance, it might just sit there, sit there, sit there, and then all of a sudden it jumps. Ugh. Well, we get in on the jump, right? We're monitoring institutional players. They hit the market with 1,500 contracts or whatever. We basically get in with them in a matter of microseconds, and we reach out and grab our first target, move the stop to break even, and hope that we can get our second target. So,
So, guys, this is very similar. Those of you that are pat traders, this is when you blow through a level and support becomes resistance or
yeah,
resistance becomes support and it continues to move. That's the trade that you're taking. So basically you're watching the velocity and the order flow to
right.
determine that it's going to blow through, right? And then when it goes through, you're then taking the trade as support becomes resistance, resistance becomes support, whatever the opposite is. And you're riding that trade from that point. Okay, so those of you guys that have watched this, we've all watched this before, right? We've sat there and said, okay, it's hit that level twice, 3 times. There wasn't enough volume to get through. There wasn't enough order flow to get through that level, and then boom, it goes through and it jumps into the trade. Okay, so that is how it's trading. Here's your stats, by the way. You'd asked. These were the stats that were actually fully back tested. You had 3,342 trades. Crazy. Average risk of about 150 bucks. Now you had the 36.1% annualized over those years.
Yeah,
So it's about a 3% a month was the look. But this is not compounded, correct? This is
right.
I have that written there, but I just want to
Straight
confirm that.
across the board. Yep.
Yeah, so very, very, very strong numbers, guys. Just real quick, remember I said to you guys earlier, some accounts are for certain people, some are not. This is a $50,000 minimum account. It only trades minis. Okay,
Right. And
so
two at a time.
two at a pop. So you need a little bit larger of an account to do this, trading 4 to 5 times a day. You right now you have the daily max risk set to 1,500 bucks, correct?
Yeah, it's a personal preference. Yes. That's where we're at currently right now. Yeah.
Okay,
So
perfect. And
we
it's trading US pit session only, so they don't, do they need to be able to hold overnight or anything like that
No,
for this?
absolutely not. So we basically turn this on 15 minutes. Well, it turns itself on. Let me rephrase that. 15 minutes after the bell, because we like to get all the 15-minute jitters
The
out in
wish
the morning.
washout. Yep.
Yep. And then we can get an accurate order flow read. And it'll trade basically until noon. And then it takes a lunch break like we all do. And then comes back about 1:30 and finishes the day.
Perfect. So it's just basically working through the main volume areas of the day.
Yeah.
So perfect. Guys, futures portfolio management. I mentioned this earlier. Okay. This is a software that we've had for the last, I mean, Bubba, you've had this for years. It's just recently that we've started talking about it again. 100% fully automated letter of direction. It trades the major future indexes, micro gold, copper, silver, British pound, and oil. Um, what this is doing, guys, is it's a long-term blow-off trade. So if you're familiar with the blow-off trade, the reversion to the mean concept, this is going from this is doing that. It's just doing it instead of it on a minute chart, 6 minute chart, 15-minute chart. It's doing it on a daily chart. Okay. Much longer term hold, max of 4 positions. Okay. Bubba, correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. This is holding in the overnight as well, correct?
This is holding overnight. We've been in trades for weeks. I mean, the truth of the matter is the longer we're in the trade, the more money we're going to actually make on the trade.
Right.
We've changed the model to exit quicker on a bad trade. I mean, because there's going to be trades that aren't going to be winners. And instead of holding through the drawdown, we're going to close and look to re-enter. That's what the new model does. It'll take a loss versus trying to hold for the win, and it works much better and much cleaner and smoother, and nobody gets oversized, and then I don't have to worry about people getting over leveraged, which is always the biggest decline and the biggest downfall for any trader is too much leverage.
And it's been doing pretty well. You guys are, I think year to date, you're at about 15%. Does that sound
Yeah,
right?
yeah. No, we're doing well. We've had a number of good trades and had obviously a couple of losers as well. But again, it's managed much more closely. It's much more like the market mavericks trade that I trade on 4 minutes every morning. So I'm much more willing to take the exit and move on from a loss, even if it qualifies. I'm going to take the loss and take the stop and move on to the next trade because there will be plenty of trades to make in any given year, and there's a lot of time to make up for a bad trade. So instead of holding and saying, "Well, this is what's supposed to happen," if it doesn't occur under our parameters, then we take the trade off and go on to the next trade.
Perfect. Perfect. While you're here, stay with me because I want you to talk about EPM. Um, EPM guys, we saw last June that the market conditions were changing. Equity portfolio model I'm talking about. We decided to take it offline. Many of you guys will remember this. We announced that we were going to archive it and we were going to rebuild it. We spent about 4 months rebuilding it, developing a model that was fit for the marketplace. We turned it back online in January, Bubba, or was it
Yeah.
December? I don't.
We
I think it was January.
it went manually back in January, and then it
Okay.
went back to automation in February.
So now, to be clear, guys, this is equity portfolio model is options. It is fully automated. You can let it run by itself, or you can go in and manually adjust your trades. Not that that's recommended, but you do have the ability to go in and manually adjust it. It is fully automated right now at Tradier only. You want to walk through the trade real quick, Bubba, of exactly what you're doing, the synthetic stocks?
Well, we're creating synthetic stock. So you're representing, for example, if you wanted to be long or short Apple, if you wanted to be long Apple, you would buy the at the money call, you would sell the at the money put, and you would buy a put down below. And the reason we buy the extra put is to control the amount of margin required. So I can put on a position in Apple and represent $27,700 for approximately about a $650 risk. Okay. Doesn't mean I'm going to lose, but that is my maximum risk to control that 27,700. And I can do that in any liquid option. So that brings into play all of the big ones. It brings in the SPY, the IWM, the Qs, and we can trade. And we've got about 17 securities, including Tesla, Amazon, the indexes, GLD, that we trade. And once again, this switched over to the blow off model, which we're looking for the mean reversion, and it will never have more than 4 trades on because we don't want to get people over leveraged nor get you into troubles where the drawdowns come in. So it makes it much cleaner and much simpler for everybody. And of course, obviously, it helps satisfy our goal because everybody wants to make money and have the minimum amount of risk, which is exactly what we're doing.
And it starts off on one contract, but you can add additional contracts as you go. What would you
In the
say is
in the software, you have the ability to put as many contracts as you want. I recommend everybody start with one. I think you have to learn in any model that you're trading, you have to learn to be comfortable, not with the winning, because everybody can win. You got to be comfortable when you go to the drawdown and make sure that you're comfortable, and then you can increase your size. It goes back to what I said earlier. You have to earn the right to trade bigger.
perfect? And then there's some information here that captures the profit at the 80 delta roll. It rolls to 50. You got about a $500 max risk or somewhere around there. What do you recommend as a minimum account size for this, for the new model?
I think you should have 10,000 minimum, because you're going to have, if you have 4 trades on, you're going to have, $3,000 worth of margin in play. And I think it's easier to have more. I mean, could you do it with less? You could, but I think again, it gets to, if you have a little bit of a drawdown, I think you get a little bit more nervous. And of course, obviously, I could give you percentages, but the percentage of loss or gain is always based on the size of account that you have. So we
Yep.
base everything off a $25,000 account. So if this was a $10,000 account, the gain would be 50%.
Right. And that's where it becomes important. But you also have to understand that you're taking a much larger uh, uh, risk
You're
with that.
controlling, you're taking, let's say $2,000, you're controlling $10,000 worth of stock.
Right.
Okay. So that's what you have to remember. Your losses and your drawdowns are always based on how much money you're controlling, not how much of the option equity that you're trading with. Because you're going to get the benefit of a $27,000 stock if it moves in your favor. Okay.
Correct.
The only thing that the synthetic does is it limits the possible downside.
So just so we all understand, guys, this thing, once we turned it back on in January, it's been ripping. You're up on the $25,000 account, you're up almost 24%, 23.9%. And like Bubba said, you could do exactly the same thing with a 10 or a $15,000 account. Your gain percentage would be higher, but it's made about just under $6,000 year to date. So it's trading extremely well, and that's off of one contract. So you can trade multiple contracts as well with it. Um, we do have the other programs, guys. We've got Gap Hunter, Arise, and the hedging strategy. In the interest of time, I'm not going to go into those right now. Um, we will have a hedging webinar next week. That if you do not currently have hedging, I strongly encourage you to attend. Okay. This is the time when you should have hedging on your software with the level of volatility and things that um, we're dealing with and we're living through. We need to address. Okay. Um, that's what I want to go over for today. We could go into a lot of depth on education programs and the other things that we have and the mentorships and things like that. I would encourage you guys to just stay in touch, keep reading the emails. I know a number of people have said to me, "Oh, you guys are bringing a lot of information to us via email." The answer is yeah. Sometimes it feels like there's too much. Okay. Let me give you an example. We've been doing a lot with Gold IQ Group, okay? Bringing to you guys some information about metals trading. We brought in Ryan with Vici, okay? Please understand, if you don't want to receive the emails, reach out to us, okay? There's certain groupings that we can put you in, but do not opt out, okay? If you opt out, you don't receive any of the emails. Okay. And that's our primary way of communicating with you guys. If you want to receive certain things, you don't want to receive certain things, we can have that conversation and keep you out of certain groups. Just talk to Joe, talk to myself, and just say, hey, listen, I have no interest in metals. I don't want to hear anything else about metals. Okay. No problem. We can put you into that group. If you say, hey, listen, Ryan smells funny. I don't want to talk to him anymore. I don't want to hear anything about his stuff. No problem. We can put you into that group. But realize we're doing this, we're putting this information out there for a reason. Okay. We would rather have you guys have too much information than too little. Okay. I take on the responsibility. Pat takes on the responsibility. Ryan takes on the responsibility. Bubba takes on the responsibility of your success. Okay. For us, it is extremely important that we get you the information that you need to be successful. Sometimes that might be a little bit too much information or it might not be applicable to you, but realize that if you opt out, you're going to miss the information that is important. Okay. Second thing, all right. If you're getting reached out to by, if you're getting reached out to by Rachel, if you're getting reached out to by Anya, if you're getting reached out to by Joe, by myself, guys, we're reaching out to you for a purpose, okay? Do not immediately assume that, hey, they're reaching out because they're trying to sell me something, okay? We run a program called Trader Checkups, all right? It's an accountability program, all right? It's designed to make sure that you guys are staying on your path to success. All right. It's not for us, guys. If we didn't want to do the extra work, we wouldn't do it. Okay. We're doing it to help you guys. We have things like, and I'll give you an example, we have the path to success plan. That's where Joe sits with you and develops what your next steps are to be successful. Okay. That's not a sales pitch. All right. That's a free 35, 45, 55-minute session with Joe where he sits and figures out how to get you to where you need to be successful. Okay. These are very, very, very important things. And if you opt out of them and you don't get access to them, okay, you're not optimizing how you can be successful as a trader. And that's all we're trying to accomplish with this. Okay. Um, I will say this, okay? I am streamlining the companies that I have vested interest in, okay? The reason why is these are crazy market conditions, guys. All right? We don't know how long they're going to last. We don't know what's going to happen next. Okay? This conflict with Iran could be over next week, or it could be over in 2035. Okay? Both of those are possibilities. All right? We are in a trading environment where the news is dramatically shifting markets, okay, more than usual. The result of that is that we as traders have to be more cautious about what we're doing. We have to be more protective of our assets. So everything that we're doing to teach you to trade in these environments, to be your mentors and to be your guides, is to help protect you in these environments. Okay. So as we're modifying things, adding things, changing things, we're doing that for your protection. Okay. So please, I ask you, don't opt out of emails. Okay. If you are just done, if you're done and you choose to opt out, that's one thing. But if you're staying in a program and you're doing things with us, let me know. If you're like, hey man, listen, I have no interest in the gold stuff. I have no interest in Bubba's stuff. I have no interest in Ryan's stuff. There's actually ways that we can take you out of those emails. Okay. So just so everybody's clear. Last piece. Okay. Last piece. Pay attention to the emails because we're going to be having webinars, more information-based webinars, more and more right now. Okay. We're realizing that as conditions are changing, we've got to keep you guys in the know. I take responsibility for that. Bubba takes responsibility for that. Ryan and Pat both take responsibility for that. You guys have to know what's happening. Okay. I'll give you an example. Gap Hunter right now is in the wrong conditions. Okay. That's okay. It's disqualifying trades, it's not taking them, but we also know that and we're communicating that to you. Okay. We also know that Emergent Edge is ripping it right now. It's doing phenomenal. All right. We want to be able to communicate that to you so that you can come to us and say, you know what? I'd like to take my Gap Hunter and upgrade to Emergent Edge. We give you guys that opportunity. It's a conversation you can have with us. Okay. So being able to communicate with each other is super important right now, guys, especially during these times. We're doing what we do to support you guys to make you as successful as possible. All right. I've said my piece. If any of you have any questions, please put them in the chat. Ryan, did you have anything else you wanted to close with?
Not really. I actually I will say one thing. I just want to put it out there because there's a lot of guys that I trade with that I've been with for years, and they know me, they trust me, they love my products. And so one of the biggest things, and as a human being, everyone is skeptical in general, right? And so, one of the things that one of my long-term clients or traders, whatever you want to call him, he's a friend now at this point, but he flat out asked me, he said, Ryan, why are you selling the algo? He said, why don't you guys just run this and capitalize this on yourself? And I thought it was a very important question because I'm sure a lot of people think the same thing. Like, why, if this thing's so great, why are they selling it, right? Why not just hog it for yourself? And here's the real answer. All these have capacity constraints, right? Which basically means that each algorithm can only put on so much size uh, per program, right? Right now, we don't have the money to max out the capacity constraint. So right now, Emergent Edge Scalp can put on 500 contracts, right, before it reaches its capacity constraint. That is not something that I have the capital to do. So we're essentially allowing individuals, like that are on this webinar to purchase and be involved so that we can fill up the capacity constraint, because we know that we can only meet about 100 of those contracts. So we basically have 400 spaces or contracts left that go
Seats.
unused and available.
Right.
So why let it go unused if somebody else can benefit from it? So I just wanted to kind of point that out, because that is, even from guys in my room who trust me, there's nothing I could say that would ever be wrong. They still want to know, hey, bro, why are you selling this? Why aren't you just, like keeping it all for yourself? The real reason is that I don't have the money to max it out. So I might as well let you guys use it, because I don't know if you've done the homework on this, but just intraday margin on 500 contracts is $250,000, and and you have to win, right? So I just don't have the capital, right? So maybe at some point when I do have the capital, then everybody else is out of luck. But for now, you guys are in the winning.
We're canceling licenses.
Yeah,
We're canceling
right.
licenses at that point.
So that's it. That's all I got to say.
Bubba, did you have anything else you wanted to add?
I mean, just, always be a little bit conservative and, watch what's going on, learn it. To add on to Ryan's point, we all trade our own systems. I mean, we're involved and we want to help people. I mean, at the end of the day, I think Ryan will agree with me this. He's been very fortunate, got lucky, back when he met somebody who taught him and brought him in.
Yep.
And we get a chance to share our knowledge and help others become better. Are we going to win every day? No. But again, we're going to be good because we're trading the same thing. And that's how I make my living, is by trading, not by anything else. And I want to be able to help everybody do what they can do to be a better trader. And that's what we work on very hard, which is why I do so much teaching and training.
Agreed. Joe, did you have something else you wanted to add? You're on mute.
He's getting coffee.
Sounds like it.
No, my screen was minimized. I couldn't find a way to maximize it. No, I don't have any. I think you guys touched on everything. Just people, listen, call me. I'll happily sell you the license, and then I'll put that money into my trading account. So we'll all be good.
Exactly. But no, guys, like we said, we've made some serious modifications, and we continue to. Pay attention next week. There's going to be two webinars next week that are going to be really important. One is going to be hedging, and lucky me, I get to do the hedging one. So I urge you to pay attention to that one. And guys, this emergent edge technology, we're rolling it out. I got to tell you, I'm so excited about this. I get to see what it's doing live, and this is like the perfect market conditions for it. It's doing absolutely fantastic. Get in on it strike while the iron's hot, as they say. Get in on it and move. If you have any questions or concerns, guys, reach out to Joe, reach out to myself, reach out to Ryan, reach out to Bubba. You guys know we make ourselves available. We're happy to answer any questions you have. As you can see, we've changed a lot, and we continue to change. We're very structured now in the prop trading side. We're very structured in the automation side. And of course, we still have the trade plans and the education and all that stuff that we always had, but we're very structured in what we're focusing on right now, particularly because of the situation. All right. So thank you all for joining us. I didn't see any other questions in the chat. I hope you all have a wonderful day.